Hey everybody, it's Robin from Roaming with Rover, and this is Finish It Friday. I know we haven't had a Finish It Friday in so very long, and several people have told me, I miss your Finish It Friday videos. And the reason I hadn't been doing them is because I haven't been finishing anything and I haven't hardly been working on anything. But it seems like, oh, gotta get comfy here. Seems like this week I'm finally kind of getting back in my crochet groove. So I thought we'd give it a try. It's going to be a little bit different from my other ones because I am still not working on all the big variety of projects that I was working on in the past. And I'll try to do maybe on next week's Finish It Friday, I will dig all of them out. I kind of know where they are. As you know, we've recently moved into this new house and I'm just now finding homes for my yarn and my projects. So it's a little easier to even get to those things. So I think I can access the majority of the ones that we had been working on in the past, give you an update on all of them, which I'll be honest, the update is they've been sitting in a box. I have not worked on any of them since you saw my last full Finish It Friday when I went through all 7 or 8 projects that I was working on at a time. Some of that stuff I haven't touched since March. That was kind of the middle of March, end of March, beginning of April was kind of when everything went topsy-turvy and we moved from Texas back to Washington State. And so everything's kind of been in an uproar since then. So let's talk about what we're doing right now, where we are right now. So finished project. I have one, and it's this beautiful shawl. I love, love, love this shawl. Isn't this so pretty? So, so pretty. Beautiful shawl. It's all sparkly. And it's got the sparkly yarn on the bottom. And yes, I know, I thought I was all done. And then somebody says, hey, you got some strings hanging off that. So I still have 2 teeny tiny ends to weave in. And this is a gift for someone. And it really looks pretty on. Now, if I were making this for me, I would have made it a little wider, but it does look nice. Doesn't it look pretty? It's so snuggly. I made this from Big Twist yarn, the Big Twist Twinkle. Sparkle, Twinkle. I think it's Twinkle. Big Twist Twinkle. This pattern is from, I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget. This pattern was from Crafty Yarn Owl with Darla, and it's the Easy Crochet Sparkly Christmas Shoulder Wrap. And I will link below the pattern. Very simple pattern. Basically, it's a 2-row repeat, and hers didn't call for the different colored yarn at the bottom. I just thought that would just add a little touch to it. I thought it was so pretty. So I added that little touch of sparkly yarn at the bottom. It is nice and warm. It's the tiniest bit chilly in here this morning, so I'm just going to keep this on while we talk. Yes. So that turned out quite well. I used 2 full skeins of the gray and probably another half a skein of the third one. So 2.5 skeins and just a tiny bit out of this one. Didn't take hardly anything. I am going to block it just because I want these pretty points to really stand out. But I won't do that until a little closer to, till I give it to my friend. So this was my finish. Whoops. This was my fit. See, I like things a little bigger so I can wrap all up in. So this is my 1FO this week, my finished object this week. And I started this yesterday just because I kind of needed a mindless, and I'll be honest, I had started this a couple weeks ago. I'm teaching my roommate how to crochet. She's doing wonderfully. I say I'm teaching. I spent about 10 minutes with her and off she went on her own. So, but I'm taking credit for it. So I'm teaching her how to crochet, and I started her off with a granny square cocoon sweater. And I've been wanting to make one myself, so I thought that'd be a good thing to do. Well, I had started one. I found a pattern, and it was a little fancier, and I wasn't loving it. So yesterday I ripped it out, and I just went back to the very basic granny square. No pattern. Just, I'm going to make it as big as I want it, fold it in half. Oh, see, it'll be just like this. Here's a little teeny tiny baby example. I'll fold it in half. I'll sew up on the side for the sleeves and collar done. Maybe I'll put a little edging on it. Maybe I won't. We'll just see. We'll just see how it goes. So this yarn is, I don't remember where I bought it. I know I bought it on sale because I've never seen this in a store. So I bought it online from somewhere, and I'm enjoying working with it. It's Red Heart Comfort. I've never even seen this before. And it is called Latte Fleck, and you can see the little flecks of color in it. And it's working out perfectly fine. The little flecks, you know, if you yank on them, they're gonna come off. But as I'm working with it, they're not falling off. This is a 4-weight, and it's a solid 4-weight, maybe even a little big, might even be a little big 4-weight, a nice thick 4-weight. I'm sure it's acrylic. Machine wash and dry, 97% acrylic, 3% other fibers. And I'm sure the other fibers is that fleck. Get over here where you can see this. Yeah, that's a pretty good, that's pretty true to color right there. I'm not in love with this yarn. It reminds me of the basic Red Heart, oh my gosh, you know, the basic Red Heart. I can't even think of what it's called now. Just the one that a lot of people don't like because it's too scratchy. And I know it's better now. It's much softer now than it used to be. This reminds me of what it used to be. So I'm not even sure. I don't know. But this is a huge, huge skein. It's a 12-ounce skein, and it's 612 yards in one skein. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get the whole project out of this one skein. Maybe not, but I'm pretty sure I will. This would be good for a blanket. This would be good for something that's going to end up on the floor a lot. I wouldn't make, and as the sweater that I'm making, it's going to be over clothing. I wouldn't make a sweater that's going to touch your skin. It is not scarfable. Yeah, I would not want a cowl. It'd be great for a hat. I wouldn't want anything that's going to be right on your skin. It's pretty rough. And it may or may not soften up when it's washed. I know the regular Red Heart. Why can't I think of the name of it? And I don't have any right handy. In fact, I probably don't have, yeah, I probably do have some. But it's, you know, the basic Red Heart that everybody talks about. I know that softens up as you wash it. I hope this will, but I don't know if it will. So, I would not recommend this it's definitely not scarfable. Definitely not. But I'm sure I didn't pay much for it. And I have a few of these, so I'm sure I was thinking of a big blanket when I bought it. But it's perfect for this project. It's working out nicely. And this is a mindless pattern. And that's what I wanted. I wanted something that I could just chat with people or sit with and watch on TV, or even though it's a little bigger of a project, it's not so big that I can't put it in the car and take with me. And of course I've lost, there's my hook. So I'm using my where is that? There we go. My Furls. I think this is one of my new hooks. Yeah, this is the new one. And I bought this as a second. So, and I think you can see a little bit, the stamping on that is not perfectly square and it's a little faded. So I got this for half price because of that. I can live with that all day long. So I'm using my Furls acrylic crochet hook to make this. And like I said, it's literally just going to be one great big square, and fold it in half and seam up the side. I've been wanting to make one of these for a very long time. In fact, I've caught somewhere, I purchased some nicer yarn to make one, and I think it's a little prettier design. It's probably not as basic as this. And so yeah, this works up really, really nice, and it feels it's pretty rough. It is pretty rough. I won't kid you. If I'd have been in the store feeling this, I wouldn't have bought it. But I do like it for this project. And I think it's okay to have yarns that are not so soft. and a little bit rougher for more utilitarian projects. They may hold up better. Who knows? So we'll see how that goes. I think it's going to work out pretty quickly, and this is something that's been in the back of my mind for quite some time. My upcoming project, I have not started it yet, but I have pulled the yarn. And this is another one of Darla's patterns. Darla, the Crafty Yarn Owl. This is her, it's called Your First Top. And we had a live the other day, and she was talking about her new pattern, and she was talking about her new tutorial, and she hadn't named it yet. And so we named it together on my live. It was so much fun. If you haven't got a chance to go back and to watch the live with Darla, we had a hoot together. Oh, and so yeah, go back and take a look at it. It was a really good live. So this is called Your First Top. It's a top down in the round raglan sleeve top. And the reason it got named that is because I had said I've never made a wearable for myself. I'm very concerned about sizing and how hard is it and that kind of stuff. And she said this is perfect first top because you start at the top, and then as you work down the raglan, it gets bigger, and then you just try it on until it's fitting you just right in the trunk, and then down you go with the rest of it. And so I committed during that video that I would make this top. And I have pulled my yarn, and I'm going to use the Comfy Cotton Blend. And I got this on a clearance, and I don't remember if it was Hirschner's or if it was Lion Brand. I'm thinking it was Lion Brand. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Lion Brand. So when I purchased this, there was like 3 colors available, and you know how it is. You put it in your cart, and it's gone. So by the time I was checking out, this was the only color left. Isn't that pretty? I really like that color. You see the little pinks and the little specks of different colors? Yeah. So this is called Chai Latte. It's a 7-ounce, 200-gram skein, 392 yards. Machine washable and dryable, 50 cotton, 50 poly. So I think this will be a really nice, it'll work up really nice for a summer top. And I pulled 5 skeins. And so that should be, I think that'll be enough. So I got the, oh, if I can do this, 5 skeins. So I've got 5 skeins of this yarn. And if not, I've got a couple of more in there. I got these, whoops, they're flying. They're flying away. I got these, like I said, on that clearance, and I think I paid $2 a piece for them. I've gotten some really good deals on yarn lately. And so let's see if that'll stay there. Ah, it's gonna fall on my head. There. So that's what I'm gonna use to make that sweater out of. And I'm super excited because, like I said, I've never made a sweater for myself. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. So you'll see the progress of that over the next couple of weeks. I don't think it'll take too long. Like I said before, I haven't got to crochet as much as I want to, and I've got so many projects going on around the house here. So my other thing that I'm working on, and again, I'll put the link for that in the description box below. I really hope you'll go and check out Darla's channel. I'm sure you guys all already do, but she is so fun, and her tutorials are very, very easy to follow. Okay, so this has been my big project. Most of you know I've been talking about wanting to knit socks. For a really, really long time, I've wanted to knit socks. So I signed up for a sock knitting class at a local yarn shop, and because I really wanted a person that I could talk to, say, what am I doing wrong? Why is this doing this? And I thought it was going to be very, very hard. So I wanted a body that I could talk to. And so I signed up for this class, and last week was our first class, and she taught us a little bit about yarn, a little bit about using different kinds of needles, and off we went. Well, the yarn that I had taken with me was the Premier Fruits yarn, and I had picked out the watermelon. I really liked the colors in it. I thought it would be fun. But she said it was a little too busy for a first sock project, and I should probably have just a plain solid color. And I'm like, okay. So we went yarn shopping in the store, and I found this beautiful, there, isn't that so pretty? This beautiful lilac yarn, and it's a sock yarn. It's a superwash merino, 75% superwash merino, 25%. What is it? Nylon that they put in there. Oh, here, the little thingy's in the center. We'll just pull that out, and we'll take a look at it. 100 grams, 437 yards, machine wash, cool, tumble dry, cool, and it's Cascade yarns, which I've been wanting to try the Cascade yarns. So that's made here in Washington State, in Seattle, Washington. It's called the Heritage, is the name of the yarn. Superwash merino and 25% nylon. I was right. Let's see what the color says. The color is 5705. So I'm calling it lilac. Really, really pretty. And you know me in purple, so I was fine with that. So that's the yarn that I'm using. And the needle, this is where I ran into trouble, is the needles. I had made sure we weren't using double pointed needles because I did not want to learn how to make socks on double pointed needles. I have some, and I do use them. So this is a double pointed needle if you're not familiar. I do use them if a lot of times when you're making a hat, you need to, if it's bottom up, if you started at the brim, by the time you get to the top, you have to use these double pointed needles to finish it up. It's basically a stick, a pointy stick. Can you imagine knitting a pair of socks with a pointy stick? People do all the time. Not this people. So what she said was we were going to learn a new process, and lots of people use it, and it's called the magic loop. I think that's what it's called. And basically you're taking a large, a needle with a large cable, and I want to say this was 26, 28, something like that. 40, it's a 40-inch cable. So, and while you're knitting, you've got the long ends of the cable on each end, so your project is just right here on these two. And you go, see if I can show you this without messing it up. You go knit, knit, knit. So I would go knit, knit, knit right here, and then when you're done, you switch your ends around. It only took me a little bit of time to get the switch and the ends around figured out, because once it clicked, it was like, oh, this is just like on regular needles. You finish on one side, then you flip it over, and you start on the other side. And that's basically what it was. But what I had, and in fact, I asked her, when you're using this process, how do you keep, because see, it's pulling these stitches at each of the ends. There's tension on it. And I said, how do you keep from creating a mess there? Because this is what I was afraid it was going to do, and this is exactly what it did. It's a mess on each of these ends. See that? I don't know what I did wrong, and I'm sure she told us, be careful and do this, but I missed that. So now I've got a mess on each side of my sock. So because of that, I knew two things. I knew I wasn't going to spend the time that it took to create a whole sock leg, because I also know I'm ripping this thing out. Once I learn the processes that I'm going to learn in this class, I'm ripping this out. I'll start over, I'll do it again. I love the yarn. I love how it's working up. But there's no way I'm going to use anything that looks like that with those big, wide gaps in there. Yeah. So, I have class again today. I'll figure out what I've done wrong. My homework this week was to create, we were supposed to do the ribbing and the entire leg. Well, what somebody suggested to me was to make a shorty sock, and I loved that idea. So I did half as much ribbing and, I don't know, an inch or two. I think I did three rounds of the pattern for the little leg part. And as a shorty sock, I think that's perfect. And then today we're going to learn the next section. So I did the cuff, I did the leg. We're gonna do the heel flap. So today we're gonna learn the heel flap, possibly the heel turn. Seems like a lot. Heel turn, gusset, instep, toe, finishing. So we're gonna work on the heel today. And so I thought, okay, I know I'm tearing it out. I'm not gonna do this whole leg thing because I know I'm tearing it out. And I'll learn the heel. We'll learn the heel today. So today the heel is, you know, that part right there. And then you've got the heel, you've got the gusset, you've got the instep, you've got there's a lot of different parts to doing a sock. But all in all, it's going pretty well, other than that ladder on the side. Now, this is the pattern that she included with our class. It's called Dream. It's from Dreams in Fiber. I can't get to my peeking through. Dreams in Fiber. I do like the design a lot. It's a real simple design. Every other row is simple knit, and then the alternate row, it's like knit, 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 purl, knit, 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 purl. And so it makes that little design there. So very simple pattern. This is a free pattern. I double checked. This is free on Ravelry. From the designer is Dreams in Fiber. She has several patterns. I only looked at this one. But this is the pattern that they gave us in our class. And very pretty. And I saw lots and lots of different types of yarns that people use. Sorry, my phone's ringing. Different kinds of yarn that people used. And I did see some people doing shorty socks. So it's perfectly fine to do that with this. And it's called Hermione's Everyday Socks. I love that title. Hermione's Everyday Socks. So for the Harry Potter people out there, you'll enjoy that. So we'll see. We got class today. We'll see what I've done wrong. I'm just going to move on to the heel and not worry about this and figure out what I've done wrong there. But all in all, I'm enjoying the process. And the people that do this magic loop thing, they absolutely love it. They absolutely swear by it. There, you can really see it there. They absolutely swear by this, and they say they'll never go back to the other way of doing it. So I just got to figure this out. It's like anything else. And I'm almost thinking, for me personally, learning a new technique at the same time of learning the socks might have been a little too much for me. But who knows? If I get that figured out, figure out what I did wrong, it could be just no big deal. And somebody told me I just need to really pull tight on that tension when I'm turning or when I'm working it. I don't know. I will find out. Again, that's why I took a class with an actual person. So that is it. That's an update on my makes and my projects. And I don't think I got anything else. Please make sure and join us weekly for our live, where we interview guests and learn all about some of the different creators out there. I'm really enjoying that. And it's just Live with Roaming with Rover is what that's called. And Monday Night Bingo. Make sure you get in there and register for your July numbers for Monday Night Bingo. And then join us Monday nights Pacific time at 5 o'clock. If you enjoy our videos, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up. And I'd also really enjoy if you would decide to subscribe. Thank you so much for joining us today. We'll see you next week for Finish It Friday.